Angling is a series of choices, from an infinite number of options, some simple, like what's your target species, to the complexities of understanding fish location on a seasonal basis. Then there's the myriad of presentation options. It's as mental of a game as physical. Each challenge is different, but the basic process remains the same. For angling is like solving a living, breathing puzzle. And to see the big picture, you need the fishing edge.
Whoa! Look at the size of that bird.
Wow.
Look at the size of that pike. Oh.
Whoa, there's one.
Nice, nice, big fish, man.
Whoa!
Oh, James.
Got him.
Nice. Woo! Very cool. Did you see that, man?
44 pounder.
Holy man.
Oh, got him.
Right at both sides. I was snagged up on that cast, got it unsnagged, and proceeded to get a follow after being snagged. That was awesome. Ooh. I couldn't move that bait fast enough. That was exceptional. What a strike. Woo!
Nice fish.
That is a nice fish. Look how pretty that thing is. I got her hooked pretty good too. I'm gonna come up to the front. It'll be easier to deal with here.
Here, I'm gonna get the appropriate accoutrements here.
It's so huge. To change direction, this is an 8.5 foot rod, and it is so huge for controlling baits at the boat, managing fish.
Okay, the net is out.
All right. She's
It took a
puckered
while.
out.
That's the issue. Water's real warm. We gotta sort of be careful with them right now.
Oh.
Come on, buddy. Oh.
Okay, I'll
that's
lead
a
her
good
head
one.
towards you, bud.
Come here, buddy. There you go.
Good job.
Whoa.
Woo. Get the tools?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
First
here,
one of the
hang
day.
on to the.
I got the net, you get the tools. There we go. So this is a starter fish for us, but this fish, I would say, Jim, probably when you were growing up, you would have been totally stoked to have run into a fish of
It's
this,
like this is the
size.
average fish
And
that
this
you
is-
see
And nowadays,
these days. You know, we have just tremendous muskie fishing, and what we're gonna look at is muskies yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And that's the first one for the day, which is a
Good
beautiful
starter.
fish. Yeah, boy, we've been seeing them. We've just had beautiful conditions. We probably have seen about 15 fish this morning.
15 fish this morning. Now that's a heck of a population, and that is a beautiful fish.
Boy,
She's stocky,
she smelled
healthy.
good. Yep,
She
we
does.
got a
I'm gonna get
muskie
her
in the
back.
boat.
There we go. Oh, you are a pretty girl. There we go. Just hold her right there. One of the big reasons this is the average fish, it's because of catch and release. That's for sure. She's just kind of chilling right there. She's gonna be okay. There, she's making her way. Adios, girl.
You know, muskies unquestionably are one of the premier sport fish in North America today, and we have more of them because of Department of Natural Resources have stocked them in waters all across the country. But it wasn't that long ago, realistically, muskies were actually commercially fished, which is really interesting that they used to actually go out and net them in Lake Erie and other bodies of water.
From the Ohio River Basin to the Minnesota North Woods, muskies have faced a long history of overfishing, spearing, habitat degradation, and other challenges dating back to the 1800s. Being a low-density, top-of-the-line predator, muskies are extremely vulnerable to commercial netting, which virtually wiped out native muskie populations in Green Bay of Lake Michigan, Maumee Bay of Lake Erie, and other locations around the Great Lakes. Loss of spawning and rearing habitat played a continuing role in population collapse throughout the muskie world. Angling over harvest took a similar toll. Muskie derbies in the mid-1900s fostered a catch-and-kill effort, with proud anglers hoisting a generation of muskie broodstock before cameras. Thousands upon thousands of big fish perished beneath the onslaught as the fish met the legal size limit, were harvested for fame, fortune, and food. this catch and kill mentality prevailed until 1966, when Gil Ham and a group of innovators founded Muskies, Inc. Its primary objective was to revitalize muskie fishing through a combination of stocking, encouraging progressive management strategies, and promoting the revolutionary concept of catch and release. As anglers and fisheries departments gradually accepted these modern practices, existing muskie populations rebounded.
Oh, there's one. Good one. Good one.
Wow, Jim. Big fish, man.
New waters were
Holy
stocked,
smokes.
and the numbers and size of available fish began to rival and even surpass those of historic proportions.
More than likely, the biggest reason that we have such a good muskie fishery today is because of two things: angler ethics. Almost all anglers today that muskie fish release everything they catch, and strict regulations. Minnesota used to be a 40-inch minimum. You could keep a fish over 40 inches. That's our average today. Now it's 48 inches. Ontario's 54 inches. It's regulations and angler ethics like that that have produced great fisheries across the country. In fact, if you head just a bit north of today's fishing location into northwest Ontario, you'll find some of the finest trophy muskie fishing on the planet. This is one of our favorite places to fish for just about everything, especially muskies. The Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources has gone to great lengths, so to speak, to protect the quantity and quality of their historical trophy muskie fisheries. Select waters like Lake of the Woods, Rainy, Eagle, Wabigoon, and Rowan have 54-inch size limits for muskies, while Lac Seul is a strictly catch-and-release muskie fishery. There are also numerous smaller waters that produce numbers of muskies and offer incredible action. The abundance of water, fish, and sound management practices make Northwest Ontario arguably the world's top muskie fishing destination.
You know, along with these quality fisheries, probably one of the biggest things is that, you know, you're talking about angler ethics, is also the anglers are actually have the right tools to release these fish. When you look in the boat here, most muskie fishermen are rigged up with bolt cutters, hook outs, jaw spreaders, a big deep net, like we got this Frabel net that sits in the water by the side of the boat when you're going to release the fish, and it really minimizes delayed mortality. So more of the fish are surviving that are caught to be re-caught again, and eventually grow to real whoppers like that one Jeremy just let go.
We're fishing today on one of my favorite fisheries, and it's Minnesota's famed Leech Lake. There was a historical muskie event that happened here in the 1950s called the Leech Lake Muskie Rampage, where a group of guys went out and just pounded the muskies from Federal Dam out in Portage Bay. But realistically, that pounding that they had in the 50s that has been so famed and published all over the country is a fairly common occurrence. We fish muskies a lot up here, and it's not uncommon for two anglers over the course of the season to maybe have a few days where you boat between 5 and 10 fish. If you were to have that happen and you were to be standing with a group of guys that all had 6 muskies, it would look exactly like the pictures in the old days. And again, it all just comes back to angler ethics and good management. Got him?
Got him.
Attaboy, Jimmy. Got her, big one.
Got her,
big one.
got her.
Got that big one, yep.
Got
There
her.
we go. Got her, big one. Came up and lunched it, Jim. It was so awesome. Her whole mouth just came up and inhaled the bait. I'm gonna go to the front.
Whoop, there you go.
Got him?
Got him.
Attaboy, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Little guy, cool. Nice, just finessing him into it, man.
Yeah. Huh.
The conditions changed and a little bit of
Slowed down a little bit.
finesse seemed to be the ticket.
Come here.
You want to?
Whoa.
Oh, that was perfect release.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that is.
Here you go.
Come here, buddy.
Oh, look at that.
Wait.
You're my hero. Usually we screw something up, but that worked out
Look
perfect.
at that.
Today we're on famous Leech Lake in Minnesota, and this would be considered a natural muskie fishery without really any stocking. And many of the best muskie fisheries around the country today are actually stocked bodies of water. They've got great fishing in them, but I've got something interesting to share with you about when muskie stocking actually started.
The management and culture of muskies began on Lake Chautauqua, New York in 1888, with a permanent hatchery facility completed there in 1904. Early experiments with fry stocking proved to be prohibitively expensive due to the extremely low survival of individual muskies related to predation and other factors. Raising 1 to 3-year-old fingerlings in ponds and stocking them into lakes and rivers in the fall proved to be a much better alternative due to enhanced survival. Fish are usually stocked at a rate of 1/2 to 2 fingerlings per acre, depending on whether the population needs to be merely supplemented or totally maintained by stocking. In the end, it usually costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 for every stocked fingerling that survives its first 18 months in the wild. During the mid-1900s, when angler harvest was high, biologists estimated they needed to replace each adult muskie every 5 to 7 years in order to maintain fishable populations. By the late 1990s, after catch and release had been adopted in earnest, that figure rose to replacing each fish only once in their lifetime, meaning perhaps every 15 or 20 years. Returning fish to the water to be caught again is by far the best and most cost-effective use of the resource. Today, over 98% of muskies caught are released by anglers. Self-sustaining fisheries with good population and rearing conditions don't require stocking. Even so, stocking has undoubtedly proven successful on many waters.
See that? How that pelvic fin is missing? That's
One
a
of the
stocked
things
muskie. That's how they
flip
can
fin.
tell if they're stocked or reproducing naturally. Good. All right.
Some 37 states have ongoing muskie programs incorporating either natural or tiger muskies.
You know, I've been aggressively fishing muskies most of my life, actually probably for the last 35 years, and unquestionably the quality of muskie fishing is better now than it's ever been before because of the stocking programs and angler ethics, catch and release combination of the slot limits. I mean, you can't take these fish, you know, anglers don't harvest them anymore. And we're really reaping the benefits of all those things molded together, the quality of fishing, you know, like you saw today. I mean, we've been catching some number of fish and seeing some number of fish. Muskie fishing is tremendous. Unquestionably, one of the real big keys to a lot of muskie success is actually the equipment you have. You know, it wasn't that long ago that really muskies were rods were like pool cues. Today we don't use pool cues in any way, shape, or form. These are our angling edge rods, but they're long. You can actually take a bait like this and actually cast a bucktail, a glider, or whatever. As you can see, I can actually put this bait a long distance away from the boat, and that's a big thing. The reason being is muskies can get in, they track in on the bait, and they can follow it for an extended period of time, and a lot of times that's what's necessary to trigger a fish into biting. The other thing is Jeremy was talking about the variations of speed and the ability to handle you know, high speed, like for bucktail fishing. And you'll see I have this Finor reel here, and this reel here actually picks up 42 inches of line per revolution of the reel. And I actually have this on an 8'6" rod, so I can cast this bait a long distance, but the biggest thing is when I reel it, I can reel this bait at a relatively moderate pace, and it's right below the surface, and it really gets that bait smoking. And a lot of times that can be a really critical trigger, particularly during the summer months.
One of the things that's changed the game of muskie fishing big time, I think more than anything else, is the advent of mapping technology and GPS technology. We've got the Humminbird 1187 and the Lake Master chip in here. One of the things it does, obviously, is it shows you the spots where the fish are, but you can see we're putting waypoints along the edges of the structure, and we're also dropping waypoints where we see a fish. But it's so huge when you're fishing a presentation like this gliding wrap. Sometimes it might take me 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to get this bait in. So I don't want to be just casting this bait randomly. So I'm actually taking the time before I make each cast. I'm looking on the GPS. I've got it set to 100 feet. So I remember on 52, we saw a nice fish there. So I'm going to just position myself so I know that 52 is right about there. Now I got 1.5 minutes to work the bait in, so I'm not just randomly casting. Not as important when you're bucktail fishing, but if you're fishing a presentation like this, that takes forever to get in, it's absolutely huge. Got him. Big one. There we go. Wow. Oh. Man, what a difference it makes.
It's interesting.
Change the presentation.
Yeah, we changed. We were burning bucktails earlier. It seemed like that's the only
coming
thing we
up,
could
Jim.
get them to move on.
Just stay there. Just stay there
the
for a
only thing,
second.
that's a big one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Hang on. Hang on. I'm trying to get,
There we go.
trying to get it. Yeah, there you go.
Whew, okay. Ooh, not. I got the motor. You just get the net.
Okay, come here. Wait, hang on.
I thought it was big. I'm fishing with a bass rod.
Let's see.
Sometimes it makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah, let's see.
Finessing these guys. Here we go.
Here, let's see.
Boy, did that fish smoke it.
Hang on. That's a good
Ooh,
one.
Barely hooked.
Okay.
We're
There you
good.
go. Whoa, come on. There you go.
Here we go. Come on, baby. You don't need to run the troll, Jim.
Yeah, I know. It's just, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come on.
Pull it. Oh, there we go.
That's a good one.
That's a nice fish. Yes. I want to show you a fish that 20 years ago would have been an absolute trophy. This fish would have been on anybody's wall. You'd see it in a country bar. But today, these fish are actually somewhat abundant, and they are awesome to catch. Musky fishing, it's unbelievable.
It
these
really
days.
is.
I love it. Oh, I got it right at the boat. Right at the boat. Whoa! All right. So this is so cool. We just, whoa, kicking my butt, kicking my butt. It's a little guy, but it's fun.
The thing is he's catching all the peanuts. I'm just waiting for the big one. And I do know that there's some real, but there's actually 2 or 3 really big ones up here that we saw.
All the spots we fished today have had muskies on them. Every one of them we've seen, but this particular spot has a lot of muskies. This just happens to be, the 5th one in an hour and a half that we just hooked. So
He's caught so many. I'm not even gonna net this one for him.
So it's a pretty good spot. But what we just saw as we were making a loop back around, we went and hit another reef. We came back to this one, is in 11, 12 feet of water loaded with bait. Once he got up into 7, it wasn't there, but these fish are definitely eating on this bait. This whole thing is just covered with bait around it. Not all reefs have bait around them. This is one of the few that does. And there's muskies there, so pay attention, watch your sonar. If you see a bunch of bait, it's not necessarily on it, but near it, there's gonna be muskies.
This is starting to get to be a real aggravation.
Oh, I got another one.
He's catching so many.
Are we bass or
that
musky
I may not
fishing?
even net him anymore.
Bass or musky
He can net
fishing?
him himself. Look at that little rascal. Ooh,
It's a pretty
one.
sucker,
Boy,
yeah.
he is a pretty one.
Really, really pretty guy.
Come on,
Tough,
buddy.
man. Really tough.
Okay, there you go.
Whoa. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Come here. Okay,
There you go.
there we go.
Ooh,
Boy, is that a pretty sucker.
I know, he's a tough little rascal too.
Fat, tough, fun. Oh, man. Hey, now that is a leopard, huh?
Oh.
Isn't that thing beautiful? What a spectacular fish. We'll release this and then maybe come back in about, 5 years. You'll be probably pushing that 50-inch mark there, Charlie Brown, Mr. Leopard.
Without a doubt, muskies are more abundant, available, and bigger than ever. As angler interest and participation continues to grow, more and more pressure will be placed on existing muskie fisheries. To continue experiencing these great fish at this level in the future, we need to support conservation groups like Muskies Inc. and let legislators know muskie fisheries are sought-after destinations that are socially and economically important. Now is the time to take advantage of the great muskie opportunities that exist all around the country, and now is the time to take the steps for the future of muskie fishing.
Got her. There you got her.
Woo, that was kind of fun.
Oh, there's one. Nice.
Nice, big fish, man.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. There's one. Whoa.
wow. Oh, James.
That'll get your attention. I like
was a
that. Boy, he
whopper.
came in there and just launched it.
Man.
You know, I don't know anybody that sometime in their life hasn't had to deal with major challenges. They may be financial, they may be relationships, they may be sickness, disease. All of these are part of the world we live in. And, you know, dealing with issues like this can be very, very difficult on people, very difficult. On friends, family, everybody around you. In a current issue of In Touch magazine, there was a little thing in a daily devotional. It was titled Practical Ways to Bear Burdens. Starts off by saying, there's hurting people everywhere, but at times we just don't know what to say or do to ease their pain. Here's 6 practical ways to bear someone else's burden. Number 1, be there. At times, the best method of helping is simply to be present. Number 2, listen. Don't attempt to give answers or tell people what to do next. Number 3, share. Never parade yourself as someone who has all the answers. Number 4, pray. There is power in speaking people's names before the Lord. Number 5, give. Sometimes helping others involves more than a handshake or a warm hug. Maybe they're in need of something financial or material. Number 6, substitute. You may know an individual who bears the burden of caring for someone else. If you step in and take his or her place for a while, it could be a huge blessing to them. In today's world, there's more people dealing with challenges than I've ever seen before in my life. These 6 points can be a real blessing in changing somebody's life and making it just a little bit better. I had to share them with you. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.